Factor. Change an addition expression into a multiplication expression. Our first step will to look for common factors. Immediately take out to the front of the expression. What you're taking out is all common factors. Show what's left inside one set of parentheses. Our second step will be to identify the number of terms, but do note that you have to take out the common factor from each term, so you already have to know how many terms there are. But we're going to do this to identify if what we're looking at in the expression has 2, 3, or 4 terms. Let's look at an example if there are only 2 terms. See if it is the sum or difference of perfect cubes or squares. For perfect squares, it has to be subtraction. And then we write it as each term written once in the front and the back, separated by a plus sign and a minus sign. We can do cubes with either a minus or a plus, and we'll follow this formula. What I tend to do is write what I see without exponent 3, and then I square that first term, I multiply the two of them together, and I square that last term. I call it square smile square. This last one, if you notice in both of these formulas, is a plus. And this sign is the opposite of that sign. The sign inside the second set of terms when you're factoring will be the opposite of the sign in the first set. Here's an example. X cubed minus 64. This does not appear to be the difference of perfect cubes, but if I rewrite it as x cubed minus 4 cubes, it's a little easier to see. Now the way I do this is to write what I see without exponent 3. So make sure when you do this everyone has an exponent 3 so that you can write it without those exponents. Now in the second set of parentheses they're very large. The first thing is a square. It is a square of the first term. X squared is x squared. The second one I call a smile. What I do is I multiply these two together. I don't worry about the sign, I just multiply those two terms, giving me a 4x. And the last one is also a square. 4 squared is 16. Now comes time to put in the signs. This last one is always a plus. And this sign will be the opposite of the sign you've already used in the first set of parentheses. Since I have a subtraction there, this is a plus.